Welcome everyone, this is the 31 Days of Dread, and I am your host, Peter A. DeLuca, aka PAD, and this is where we do one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. That's 30, if you can't count, that's 31 movies celebrating the greatest genre of them all, the greatest experimentational platform of them all, the greatest young filmmaker discoverer of them all. It is horror, 31 days coming at you. Look out, ghouls and ghosts, it gets spooky. Alright everyone, coming out of that intro hot, this is what I call the telethon portion of the podcast. This is where I pitch myself to you for your support. Your support means everything to me because we're fighting, the AKAPAD army is fighting against algorithms everywhere. Algorithms, I ate some cereal earlier today, I dumped it into my bowl and it was full of algorithms. Okay, bad joke. Alright. Sharing this podcast, telling your friends about it, leaving comments, leaving reviews. This is how we grow AKAPAD's audio audacity. Your support there is more valuable than anything other than like a high five in person, because I'd love a high five in person. AKAPADers, welcome to another day of the 31 Days of Dread. Day 12 right here, rocking and rolling. We are doing the Purge. Forever Purge. The Purge is forever. So this movie's big because it's a concept. It's already a concept that's hard for people to grasp. When you know the Purge movies and you watch this, it's not really so much about a purge. It's a chase movie. We're running towards something. We're running away from something. There was a movie I did starring Batista like a couple years ago. It was called Bushwick. This movie's just like that. And it's also why the movie's awesome. Because we're no longer dealing with these personal beefs within the Purge franchise, within the, like, this long saga. These personal beefs mean nothing. See, the first Purge was fun and interesting because it was beefless. It was home invasion. It was mindless murder. It was murder and torture just for the heck of it. And then it became a personal beef movie. And then with the first Purge, this predecessor, which is continuity-wise, the first Purge you should watch. You should watch the first Purge, as the title indicates, and then you watch the Purge. Then you watch the rest. Anarchy, Election Year, Forever Purge. You guys got it. So the Inside trilogy, which is Anarchy, Election Year, the first Purge. All right, that's like that's a dissection of democracy. It's a dissection of the media. It's a dissection of the human condition. And then this movie is the breaking of that. And it does echo a true reality. Not these leftist and right-wing tropes, because it uses both. But, like, it does echo some of our society. Which is, to fix it, it needs to all, like, crumble. To fix it, it needs to all burn down. That's the idea of Forever Purge. And it leaves the franchise in such an interesting place because it's already been said, like, the next movie could be a Escape from New York type movie. A complete dystopian, like, sealed off, walled off America. Which is very cool. And then we would have, like, this long saga, this long narrative of setting up a Escape from New York scenario. Which would be, I think, on premise alone, for a $20-30 million movie, that would be very satisfying. But the more we call it the Purge, we're raising these expectations of these personal beefs coming head to head, as we saw with Purge Anarchy and Purge Election Year. I think that's what that's what people want. I mean, the TV show maybe got a little too on the nose political. Didn't have enough of these personal beefs. Got involved too much with the politics and the corporate side. See, there's a balancing act, and what this movie does, it takes the Purge out of the Purge, and it does it in a way where we want to see what happens next. We really want to see how this movie wraps up. I think that was like one of the big anticipations. If you follow these other movies, these other movies is the attack politically on the Purge. And between Purge Election Year and Forever Purge, the opening credits for this movie fill in the blanks. The blanks is like the right people won. Like the party that was going to take away the Purge won. They took it away, and then everything else got voted back in. And then the whole point of the Forever Purge is that the people rose up and they decided not to stop purging until everything self-corrected itself. And holy shit, people, that is expert storytelling. It's subversive. It's masterful. It's smart. It's ballsy. It's tough. It's a big concept for you to grasp within the opening credits. And then at that point, we're racing to the border because Mexico is going to save us. We have the same scenario as the day after tomorrow, which is really weird, okay? Like American Dreamers was a term used at the end of this movie. Look, I have to say, Escape from New York, in my opinion, Rainbow 2 and 3, Rocky 4, okay, there's a lot. I mean, like, it in a way, too, even not Total Recall, The Running Man. In my view, these are highly political movies. They make statements outside of the entertainment value for the movie. And I don't think it does anything rather than stamp the time that it was made in. It doesn't change minds. Okay, it satisfies egotistical artists, egotistical executives and filmmakers. It satisfies that. It scratches that itch. It stamps the movie, solidifies it in time until the next one, until the next movie that does whatever the times call for. So that's where, like, sometimes the politics, sometimes the right-wingism, the left-wingism, look, sometimes it infects the movie or what, like your form of entertainment. Sometimes it doesn't. The Purge is such an abstract fantasy to me. It doesn't matter what the hell you say in The Purge. It just doesn't matter. I mean, it's abstract as the Catholic Church is in the movie Priest. It's not an attack on the Catholic Church. It's a future run by vampires. It's just a loose idea. It's so abstract you can't take it seriously. That's a lot where I am with The Purge. And, look, this movie's disappointing if you want the actual Purge. The Purge night in this movie, it's over within a couple minutes. And I was, like, really surprised about that. The rest of the movie is the Purge continuing as almost a uprising. It's a Arab Spring. It's an organic, social media driven uprising, and it's complete chaos. And that's no longer the Purge, right? Like the hook, that's not the hook. But that doesn't mean that this longer narrative, this longer idea that did start with the Ethan Hawke very first Purge, that this idea hasn't has come to fruition, because there is a backstory. There's a continuous unfolding here, movie to movie. We get like a little bit closer to like the politics, a little bit closer to the mechanics of how it works. The TV show, both seasons of the TV show, they touched on that. They were good for it. Purge election year was really cool. I thought this movie was about the Purge being outlawed and then like Texas going rogue and not giving up the Purge, which also would have been the same point. Either those scenarios would have had the same point. But this movie, look, just the idea of the Purge fits for the 31 Days of Dread because it's horrific. It's scary as shit. This franchise is amazing. I love the backstory of every single one of these movies. It's so interesting to me. I highly recommend this movie to continue the story. I can't recommend this movie on the sense of it being a Purge movie. And that's where I'm a little bit like divided. I'm a little bit split. But everyone, more about this later. It's the 31 Days of Dread. We have Jim from The Office directing a freaking sequel to a monster movie that people flipped out about. And you know all about The Quiet Place. Well, we got Quiet Place 2 coming up in lucky day 13 for 31 Days of Dread, people. Let's do it. And to continue this telethon where we're not talking about high fives, there's other ways to support me. I'm a living professional. I'm a full-time freelancer. Anything you see on this, like here on this podcast or see in my social media, I make everything. It's all made by me. That's a part of my pitch to you. And you can purchase professional services through AKAPAD.com. That's a pipeline to me if you want to send me a message. But also while you're there, you can sign up for my newsletter. You're going to get deals. You're going to get coupons. You're going to get 2 free trading cards mailed to you free worldwide. And they're 2 Wolfpack trading cards, 2 original characters, for upcoming comic book work. And speaking of comic books, you can go to Etsy, type in Uzi Susie, and that's where you're going to find my mini comic. You can purchase existing issues and pre-order upcoming issues along with bundles if you missed any, like issue 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. There, Uzi Susie is waiting for you. And keep an eye on Indiegogo. A lot of my bigger comic book projects will be available through Indiegogo. All of those updates will be here on this podcast, so if you're a regular listener, I'll let you know. We can rock and roll from there. So everyone, thank you so much, and feel free to reach out to me on social media, AKAPad69, Instagram, and Xbox. That's right, you can play Halo with me. Just straight up AKAPad on Twitter, straight up AKAPad on the Facebook. My business page is there. My personal page is there. Hey, be a personal friend of mine. I don't care. Let's talk movies. Let's talk creativity. Let's talk fun. And just, who cares? Do you like, the Transformer movies? I love them. We can talk about that all night. So meet me there and we'll rock and roll. Let's get talking. We got a movie to discuss.